Hello everyone, my name is Walter Richards from DaGameTrain and it's time for some arcade coin-up action with Battletoads. That's not exactly the logo I was expecting to see, but it's not out of place. Electronic Arts was the publisher. Rare was the developer, as you would expect. So, Battletoads for the arcade, also known as Super Battletoads, was released in 1994 for, well, the arcades. And as you can see, it is pretty much what you would expect from a Battletoads game, with good old beat-em-up action, with some limited platforming. It's a bit more akin to what Battletoads Double Dragon was rather than the original Battletoads actually, since that one was more about beating shit up as well rather than platforming, but it does have a little bit of it too. It's pretty much the same deal, except I wanna say better, because since we don't have Nintendo or Sega being all like, oh, we don't want any violence on our video games, Rare was like, well then. Yeah, boy. So we had a bit more of that violent action. Proper stuff. It's not gonna be as ridiculously gruesome as the likes of Mortal Kombat, of course, but it is a step up, I would say, in terms of that graphic violence. There's blood spurting out, there's bones and skeletons, and as we'll see later on, Toads getting chomped by giant snakes. Spoiler alert. Man, there's a lot of fucking boxes you can throw in here. Motherfucker. I do like the rework they did for the Psycho Pigs. And the pigs here actually show up from the first game, except they actually look like pigs for one, and well, they're looking pretty fucking menacing, all things considered. Pretty psycho, if I do say so myself. Not particularly dangerous either way. They were always kind of pushovers, but this time around even more so. Just don't let them get all aggressive on your ass and you should be fine. What I do like though is how the music improves in this game. It's a lot more rockin', and I think it fits in with this game perfectly. Get out of here, fucking pig. I also like that the Toads actually have some voice acting, let's say. They have a few lines that they like to use every now and then. That, like whenever you pick up a weapon or a box to throw at people, they'll go, alright! With Rash here, I think that's his name, having the least manly of the voices, but it still sounds pretty funny nonetheless. Here's the first boss of the game, General Slaughter. He's pretty easy. He looks tough, but as you can see, he only needs like 2 hits to get damaged. What you want to do is wait for him to jump back in here somewhere, let him do his attacks, and then just beat the shit out of him. Get out of here, bastard! It takes a few tries, but eventually you throw him right out of here, right into the space, the depths of space. And after every level you get yourself a very nice kill count to see who killed who and how many of them.
Mission complete.
And you can, and I think you guessed it right if you tried guessing it. This is indeed the game where you can play with all 3 Toads at the same time. It's a 3-player game. Thanks, arcade. Alright. Our next target is Carnath, a giant carnivorous snake. Well, you would hope a snake is carnivorous. I mean, have you ever seen a snake that eats plants? Nope, I haven't either. Sounds kind of stupid too. Either way, this is probably the only time we'll ever see like a snow level in a Battletoads game where you have to go through it. This game does not have mega warps of any kind, but it does have very annoying enemies sometimes, like these little elf rats, which smush you like a pancake. Nice signs, by the way. You will die! You will lose your soul. Wait a minute, that's the wrong game. We don't have souls in here. We do have aggressive snowmen trying to throw shit at you, but they're pushovers. Just avoid their balls and you'll be fine. Oh, get out of here. That's crazy Rudolph over there is only looking pretty menacing, but overall he's nothing. He ain't nothing. All you gotta do is just punch him once and he's good to go. Also, this is probably the only Battletoads game that I know of that allows you to pick up guns and use them. Granted, these guns are not to be used forever, much like any other weapon. They only last for a short amount of time. The guns can only be fired about 4 times before they expire, whereas the club, I think it might be the same way, but I've also noticed that it disappears after some time. So it might be a bit of both for that one. The main cannon fodder in this game will be the rats, which are pretty fun to beat up on. I don't know, there's something about them that I really like. And by like, I mean like beating the shit out of, obviously. Maybe it's their smug faces, I don't know. Ugh, stop smushing me, damn it! Bastards. These guys are a little hard to hit at times. Or whatever. It's not that big of a deal. If you die and get a continue, you can actually switch characters, provided you're playing by yourself. There's no real difference between the characters. They have slightly different animations, and I believe some of them are slightly larger or smaller than others, but other than that, the differences are very minute. So it doesn't matter which character you choose, and that's a good thing, I think. For a beat 'em up like Streets of Rage, character stats can work, and are, well, a good idea to introduce. But for a game like Battletoads, I don't think that's necessary, considering that all of the Toads are able of transforming their appendages to various weapons. Like, what would be the point of having different stats in that case, if they can just transform to something stronger? Man, I really hate these fucking bastards. They're so hard to hit. Also, for some reason, Pimple in this emulator is red in the select screen, but brown when you select him, like when you're playing as him. I don't know why it does that. It's like some kind of a weird graphical glitch. Or is that supposed to be intended? I have no idea. Anyway, here's Pimple. He is pretty big and pretty buff too. Shit. I think his size can be a detriment to some players. Me, not so much. I don't really care. I find it kind of interesting how his... You know, whatever. I don't know what I'm saying. I like the moves that this guy has. Granted, all of the stomps and charging attacks pretty much do the same amount of damage. I do like that they have different animations. It gives a bit more character to, you know, the character. Doesn't mean much when you're getting fucking smushed. Ah, here's that motherfucking Rudolph again. Show me what you got, motherfucker! There we go. Let's go down in here. I wonder who's saying touchdown in here. That voice clip only plays if you kill someone with that charging attack, by the way, so don't worry, you won't have to hear it all the time. It's not like that attack happens all the time anyway. Let's try Zit, just for the hell of it. He also has some slightly different animations, but as you can see, he's about the same size as Rash. Maybe a little taller. Ah, and here's our boss. Karnaf, the giant snake. Pretty cool arena, all things considered. There are some strategies to keep in mind with this guy. If he chomps you, don't worry. If you still have some HP left from that chomp, like right now, just flail around your joystick or whatever you have. I'm using a gamepad, so just mash your D-pad all over the place, and he will let you go. However, if you're completely out of HP, that's really not gonna do anything. The idea here is that you're punching this fucking snake in the face. Pretty obvious, right? But the more you punch it, the more aggressive it gets. It only gets less aggressive the more you suck at the fight. You know, to make sure you don't have an unfair time not being able to hit this motherfucker. Because he tends to be pretty hard to dodge once he gets really aggressive. Let alone hit, I should say. I find it easiest to avoid his attacks if you're jumping whenever he's attacking. Sometimes you can clip right through him that way. Gives you a bit more lenience. Of course, as you can see, that doesn't always work. The voices for the toads are ridiculous. Like right now. Wow! that's really not necessary, but I like it anyway. Okay, as you can see, now Karnaf is a little bit less aggressive. But if I keep wailing on him like this, he will get pretty fucking mad. So yeah, the faster he moves, the better you are at beating his ass up. That's what it means. Once he starts growling, that means he's pretty close to death. Just keep beating his ass up. And there you go. His head is chopped off. Get the fuck out of here. And you are complete. Nobody is the dealer of death. Oh damn. I kinda like these little intro animations, or whatever you wanna call them, cutscenes. But, they're not entirely necessary. I mean, it's one of those things that you really don't need for an arcade game, but you do appreciate it. I do have to ask though, how many of you guys have actually seen the Battletoads arcades in real life? Like, how many of you have actually played the arcade game? Because, well, don't look at me, I didn't even know this existed for a good long time. Because, you know, arcades in Lithuania? Don't be fucking ridiculous, my good friend. I mean, there were some arcades, but they were pretty generic. I don't even remember a single game from them. Then again, I only visited the arcades like 2 times in my entire life, because they were always so far away, and of course they cost money. But I imagine playing this on an actual cabinet must be pretty fucking amazing. I'd actually like to try it out. That wasn't necessary. Oh, I like this guy actually. He looks pretty menacing, don't he? Let's try that again. Yes, indeed, you can grab these guys by the balls and punch them. Punch those balls hard. That doesn't happen very often in beat 'em ups, does it? It should happen more often, I think. May I also say that this level has easily one of the best tracks in this entire game? At least that's how I feel about it. I really like this track. I believe the man behind the music here was one called David Wise. I forget the name exactly. I think that was the name, but if I'm wrong, well, I'm pretty sure you know the correct name, so don't mind me. But from what I remember, it's the same guy who did music for one of the Donkey Kong games, or on the SNES, I believe. It's the same guy, and well, if you heard this music before, you can definitely feel his influence here as well. He's pretty good at this shit. Speaking of shit, someone's taking a shit. That's still fucking funny, no matter how many times I see that. They didn't need to add that, but they did, and I'm glad. As far as I'm concerned, there really needs to be more Battletoads games like these. Good beat 'em up with good humor, and of course, gruesomeness. That's gotta fucking hurt. Damn. I don't even want to imagine the kind of pain someone must be getting from getting his balls punched 3 fucking times like that. Man, this game is violent. I mean, Mortal Kombat has been pretty violent too, but this is just violent on a different level. Huh, that was easy. So now what? You go up, of course. Oh yeah, if you really feel like, you can throw enemies off a cliff here. Off a ledge, I should say. But beware, they can also throw you off a ledge, so be careful. Oh, look who it is. It's 2 of these fuckers. When there's 2 of them, it's kind of annoying to deal with them, because while you're beating up one of them, the other one is gonna try to walk up to you and grab you like that, to knee you in the face. I kinda hate when they do that, but they're not too hard to beat up. Best thing I can suggest you do is beat up one of them as soon as possible, and then, well, you'll have an easier time with the rest of them. Come here! Shit, that wasn't close enough. There we go. That's much better. Who keeps leaving these giant club things here anyway? Come on, that's a little ridiculous, isn't it? Watch out here, you can get smushed by the enemies dropping down. They seem to slightly smush themselves while dropping down, that's weird. Why do we keep catching some of these rats taking a shit? You say what to me? Come on, there we go. Oh, here's another one of these bastards. This one is one of the tougher varieties, and he also has some voice acting. Whenever he grabs you, he's like, eat this, or whatever. Not sure if you'll be able to see that. Oh, he did. Well, it doesn't matter, because I died, but I'll be beating his ass up. like the designs of these guys actually. I like the designs of all the enemies here. It's pretty nice and unique. I mean, there's just not a whole lot to say about this game in general. It's really good. And that's one thing I gotta keep repeating. If there's a good game, it's really fucking hard to talk about it. Because what can I even say? You can clearly see that it's a good game yourself, and if you don't see it, well, play it for yourself. Then you'll see what I mean. It's good, and there's really nothing that needs to be said about it. To me, it's kind of on the same level of good as Streets of Rage, actually. It's just simple fun. You don't need it to be super advanced or anything. You're just beating up some baddies and that's it. Having a boss fight every now and then. And that's perfectly fine. Man, those rats puke a lot. I'll take this. Alright! These voices. Yeah, there's really nothing much to say about this game. It's just simple, good fun. Would be pretty cool if I could get a couple more guys to do like a multiplayer run of this game, but I don't even know how to set up multiplayer net play on this thing. Let alone a lot of things, because I'm using MAME for this game, and fuck me, is it hard to set it up. I don't know, maybe I'm just fucking stupid or something, but I'm really having trouble with this damn emulator. Just yesterday I wanted to set up the controls to work properly. I had to go through like 4 different menus for that. What the hell, dude? Who has time to go through like 4 different menus to set up controls for one game? It's ridiculous. Ah, here's the Dark Queen, and sheesh. They really went out with this design, didn't they? Ah, and here's a Robo-Rat. Yeah, seriously, for the design of Dark Queen, they went a little bit above and beyond. I mean, you can even see her nipples poking out. That's a little excessive. Unlike the designs in the NES and Genesis games, where you could not really see a whole lot actually. You could see her face, and a little bit below that, but that's about it. Not much else to see. Anyway, this boss is like a multi-phase kind of a boss, I wanna say, because first he has those donut lasers, as I like to call them, because it shoots like donuts. Fucking laser donuts. Once you break off the arms with the lasers, he starts shooting laser beams out of his eyes. They hurt. And they're pretty hard to dodge too. I just recommend wailing on his ass. If you're gonna be playing on the emulator, you're probably gonna be playing on free play or just keep shitting quarters into your credit counter. So it doesn't matter if you die a few times. I don't even know how you would go around dodging this properly. So I just don't bother with that. Once the faceplate is destroyed, you'll be dealing with a whole new level of challenge, as some people would say. Well, not really, but now the rat is going to start kicking you around like a football. And that's bad, because it hurts. The cool thing about this boss fight is that you can kick the destroyed parts off the mech back into the rat. It deals some pretty good damage, and you want to do that. Alright, there you go. Now that the legs are destroyed, it's only left with I wanna say the torso? I'm not entirely sure what you wanna call this body part, whatever, let's just call it the the dick. Or the groin, I don't know, whatever. Whatever's left out of him, he will now use it to try and stomp you. There you go. Just a few more hits and he's out. And the Dark Queen is a little upset about this. Well, that's too bad. That's a good name, Frazzle. Not sure about the name Gonad though. Oh yeah, the Duke of Destruction. I don't know if it means anything to get those titles, but as far as I'm concerned, it's nothing serious. Like, you shouldn't have to worry about this. Now, doesn't this look a little familiar? It's like a little minigame. Destroy that car with a bunch of dudes who like to fight a lot? Yep, it's the same thing. Only this time you're destroying a ship. You got 99 seconds to wreck this ship. It's pretty fucking hard, I gotta say. But as long as you make sure not to wreck the same parts all the time, I think you'll be fine. I definitely got a lot more time to go with this time around, so that's good. I might actually be able to do this. Get out of here! 50 kills termination bonus. I don't even know what that means.